Good morning, friends. I want to show you around my new textile studio. This is what happens when you take something out of a dream world where it's like, oh, I wish, and wouldn't it be fun if, and make it a priority and give it a little bit of attention every day, every week, until the project is complete. And that's what we've been able to do over the last 60 days. And I am really happy with how it turned out. So let me give you the tour. All right, let's do a little studio tour. We've got a lot of light on this far wall. And sometimes I have this window. Sometimes I keep the door open, sometimes I don't. At the beginning of this project, I was completely eaten up by bugs, mosquitoes especially. So I brought a diffuser up here, put a bunch of citronella essential oil in it, and diffused for about a day. And that took care of the problem. And I am so glad it did. So I'm going to go ahead and close that door because it's a little bit chilly out there right now. But look, first of all, got the obligatory form sewing machine, and then we have the pegboard. I love the pegboard. I've got some great stuff stored there, and I've got project clipboards on the wall as well, so you can see some of the things that I've got going. I'm going to be making an Austrian dirndl, and so a few other things. Here on the right, you'll see my Miss Fisher / ironwork dress that I have been dreaming about. This table is my husband's drafting table. It's recycled. A chair from the restaurant. We have cabinets that were given to us by a friend who needed his storage unit emptied out, so we added handles. And then we worked for another friend for a while, and this piece of butcher block countertop was extra, and he just gave it to us, which was really fun. We've got a little kitchenette area here. This is from our schoolie. It's a piece of furniture on the left and a little retro fridge on the right. We've got some stone on the countertop that we got for a steal because it was a Craigslist find, and paintings that I created just recently. You can see it. There's a video about that. There's also a video about this kitchen on my channel as well. My favorite thing about it is that the back of the countertop has these cubbies that keep all the goodies that are necessary right there close at hand. You may also recognize these maple cabinets from the schoolie. So they are spectacular in here, kind of a room divider. Also, strangely enough, my soft boxes that I bought for lighting work really well on this side of the only windows are in the room are behind me here. Those kind of function like high-tech windows. Then we have a bunch of fabric storage. I've got 3 IKEA cubes that I've had for years, and the bottom 2/3 of them is fabric that I want to recycle into other things. And there's more boxes than that. So my goal is to get down to having just those 18 boxes of cloth to recycle. But you know, I'm a bit of a hoarder when it comes to potential. So we'll see how that goes. But you know, I've got like cashmere, linen, rayon, wool, silk ties, sari cloth, cotton from when I used to do quilting. So I've got a bunch of cotton left over. This row has fabric paint and some of the leftover things from when I was a jewelry designer. I've got a lot of really cool beads and wires and stuff like that, stones, pearls, all that. And then on the distant spot there, we've got cotton, commercial cottons and hand-dyed cottons. And then on the top, I've got a bunch of artwork that I've done over the years. And there's a painting here by Mia LaBerge that I really love. And another piece of furniture out of the schoolie. This was the vanity in the bathroom at the back of the bus. And then here I have a comfy little spot to just sit and think, watch videos, listen to podcasts, anything that might involve using the computer. I did get Wi-Fi up here, which is really great. I've got this cool old light fixture that is a vintage piece that's been in my family for a very long time that I gave a good rattle can coat of paint to, and then flipped a basket that I got at TJ Maxx upside down, added some bling, and made that the shade. So that was kind of fun. I've got a big mirror because one of my priorities up here will be to create a capsule wardrobe of handmade clothes. And then behind that I have 2 sheets of foam, 4 feet by 7 feet, that are wrapped in cloth. And that will either be design wall stuff to use for a design wall, or I've got a couple of other projects that might help with. So that is also a useful resource. And while I'm here, I might mention this really cool thing that we've done on the ceiling. This is a very functional light and video piece in the ceiling that I can use to both light the workspace really beautifully, and also I have video camera holders that can go in that grid that can work really well to make it so that I can get video of what I work on here on the table and also on the sides. So that is just the quick tour. Love, 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 love this room. I really do love this room. I really, really do love how it turned out. So today I want to challenge you. Take some time. If you've had a dream that's been kind of out there somewhere and you think, wouldn't it be nice if, wouldn't it be fun to have, wouldn't it be great if, if you've been thinking some of those kinds of thoughts, what if you were to take those dreams and maybe choose 1 or maybe 2 and really commit to make it a priority, so that over the next 90 days you spend a couple of hours a week or 15 minutes a day or just here and there that you work towards this priority. And maybe you can be, in the course of 90 days, standing in the midst of your completed project, enjoying it just like I am totally enjoying my studio. Maybe you will have maybe it's a completely different thing. Maybe it's some aspect of self-care. You want to rest more. You want to get to bed at a different time of day. You want to write letters to your loved ones. Whatever it is, you can make a priority. And then 90 days from now, you can be enjoying living the dream. Living the dream. This actually has turned out way better than I would have imagined, but I absolutely had a dream for this space. And I am so happy to see it come together. There's a few more details. I see a couple of details here and there that I may change over time. No problem. I have a workable room now. It makes me so happy. So one of the things that I really learned in living in a tiny house is that some things you do that you take on, they feel sacrificial at first. But then after a while, they don't feel like sacrifices anymore because they made something else possible. For example, we went tiny. We lived in a tiny house for 3.5 years, and those were back in the days when a tiny house meant like 150 square feet. Ours was actually 125 square feet. So these days tiny houses are much bigger, but this was earlier in the movement, and it felt sacrificial. It felt like we were making a real sacrifice to move into a space that small. I've had closets bigger than that. But what began to happen over the course of 6 months, 9 months, a year, 2 or 3, is that it was no longer sacrificial. It became something that felt very liberating. And now as I look back, some of the reasons that we went into that have really changed. Some of these aspects of our lives. For example, I wanted to be a published author for 20 years. And finally, living in a tiny house made it possible for me to have the space I needed, the mental space. I wasn't at work all the time. I wasn't worried about bills all the time. I wasn't, on all of these. I wasn't cleaning house all the time. I was, all of those things that come along with big house living, I didn't have to do. And so it gave me mental space to create a book. And my first book is out there now. That just really makes me happy. So the sense of accomplishment I have now compared to the sense of sacrifice I had going in, they don't even compare. They don't even compare, because sacrifice is something you only feel on the front end of a priority. When you're on the tail end, when you have actually you're living your dream, you don't feel the sacrifice, you feel the accomplishment. And so that's one of my things I want you to know today is don't be afraid of sacrifice, because you never feel sacrifice in retrospect. You only feel what you gain. And that's huge. So never be afraid of a little momentary sacrifice. Oh, I'm giving up Netflix. Oh, I'm not going to get to bed as early. Oh, I'm, going to spend a little less time doing whatever in order to make my priority fit it into my life. Yeah, you do have to give up something to make room for your priorities. But what you gain is pretty amazing. So I am looking around at my happy space, feeling very good today. It didn't take the full 90 days. I've got another 15 days to go. And I don't think I'm going to make any big changes in that time. I mean, maybe a little detail here and detail there. But honestly, what I want to do is I want to get, there's an Indian sari in that box right there, and I want to get it up out of there and start making it into a jacket. Yeah, I've really got ideas of really cool things I can make in this space, and I've got the lighting to do it. I've got everything I need to do it, and that is so cool. I would also just mention that I think our biggest expenditures was paint. I mean, we bought a pegboard. We bought the boards that go behind the pegboard. We bought the paint, painted the floor, the ceiling, a bucket of drywall mud because I used it on the plywood to fill in all that texture. The lighting cost us about $20 for the iron grate that we got at a big box store. I had 3D tiles over the kitchen sink, and those were left over from another project. The kitchen is left over from the schoolie. This piece of furniture is left over from the schoolie. Actually, these 2 shelves are left over from the schoolie. The 3 IKEA shelves are things that I've had for many years. As I look around this room, I'm not seeing anything that cost me a lot of money. I'm seeing things that have been recycled again and again and again. And that is what this space is all about. One of my priorities going forward is taking things that I have stowed in these boxes and recycling them into things I can actually use. And that is so exciting. So again, priorities don't have to cost a lot of money. Priorities don't have to take a big investment going in. So don't be afraid of what it'll cost you. If you are willing to invest some creativity and some time and some creative thinking, a lot is possible for not a lot of money. I really believe that at the foundation, the biggest provision for anything happens first, right in your mind. It happens first in your spirit. When that idea appears, when the dream materializes, when you start to think, wouldn't it be cool if? That's when vision is the first part, the first aspect of anything that we dream up. It's the vision and the thought is the first aspect of creativity or invention in my husband's work. The dream, the thought, the idea is the first inkling of building a pipe organ or building an instrument or building a textile studio or building a dress or building, whatever it is. It begins with a thought. So when you have these ideas, when ideas come to you, no matter where you are when that happens, write it down, make a note, make a mental note. Because these are things that can blossom into gorgeous things in our lives. Don't be afraid of them because they cost money. I mean, this textile studio, I don't know what the total is, but it's not a big number. I mean, we bought paint, $20 for that metal thing. Paint, a pegboard, I don't know, another $20, something. I don't know how much that cost actually. So none of this was a big expense. And so really, don't let the financial aspect of a dream that you have stop you from trying, because genuinely the biggest provision for that dream is what has already happened in your mind, the provision of that dream itself, the idea, the seed of an idea, the beginnings of a concept that is happening in your heart, in your spirit. The dream itself is the first aspect of provision. So I just pray a release for you today for your dreams to come true, because you moved them out of dreamland into priorities and were able to give a little bit of attention over and over and over again over the course of 90 days, over the course of a year for some things. Whatever it is, today is the day to take it out of somewhere out there and put it right here in the physical realm. You can do it. You can sacrifice a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of time, a little bit of energy, and maybe even a little bit of money. But it won't take as much as you expect, and it won't take as long as you fear. So today, pick a dream, create a priority, and then set about making it happen. You can do it. I believe in you. It's not going to take as much time, energy, or money as you expect, because the first aspect of provision is what happened right here when you got the idea to begin with. That is the most important aspect of the whole thing, and that's where beautiful, beautiful ideas are born, right here. So today I pray that the Lord would bless you and keep you and give you the best ideas ever. Thanks so much for listening. I really appreciate it.